Man fears time, but time fears the pyramids. Hey everyone, Yoiston here, and I hope you all are doing well, wherever you are in the Order of Ma'at. Today we are continuing our exploration of Egyptian mythology by looking at the pyramids of Egypt, the Great Pyramid of which is the last standing wonder of the seven wonders of the ancient world, the Pyramid of Giza. We will look at their significance with regards to their mythological side today. Sources for today's video are in the description below, my friends. Thank you all for joining me. Let's begin our tale. As I noted in our Introduction to Egyptian Mythology video, the pyramids were at least regarded as the great tombs of the pharaohs, at least most of them, who were said to be the divine descendants of Osiris and Horus the Avenger. Again, in terms of divine right to rule, more so than in bloodline. Their structure and shape, those of the pyramids, were supposed to send the souls of the pharaohs into the heavens to be with the gods. Now, the shape and location of these pyramids also were quite symbolic in their own way, with the light and the sun god Ra, who we discussed as either the highest or one of the highest primordial beings in the mythos. The shape of the pyramids and their smooth, angled sides are said to represent Ra's rays of sunlight in particular, and the pyramids could be found on the west side of the Nile, behind which the sun would set and Ra would face perils in the underworld during the night. This is also meant to represent the relationship between the pyramids and death, connecting the world to higher powers, as night and the underworld are also connected to death. While today we generally hear more about the Great Pyramid of Giza, or Khufu, we see that there are also two other rather large pyramids, Khafre and Menkaure, standing tall amidst smaller pyramids. However, it is claimed that there are over 100 pyramids in Egypt, and many were tombs, but not all. Of course, there is a rather extensive conversation to be had regarding the mystery of these tombs in real life, how they were made, and how they might be aligned with the stars and cardinal directions, but for us in the mythological connotation, we see that many of these pyramids were indeed used as tombs. Just as Osiris would fall from being the first pharaoh after being murdered by his brother Set, and he would be the mummy god, the king of the underworld, the people of Egypt would bury their pharaoh leaders in a much similar way, mummifying their bodies and leaving them within their tombs items that they would need in the underworld before becoming as Osiris there, and ruling amongst the dead and their soul going on to be with the gods. Now, there are three parts of the soul in Egyptian mythology, the Ka, Ba, and Akh. Now, quick disclaimer, depending on where you look in ancient Egyptian mythology, there are more parts of the soul, but these are the main three at least. More or less, the Ka was the vital essence or life essence of the spirit. And that would actually stay in the tomb, but outside of the body, and receive offerings after the pharaoh's death. Even as carvings would be made in the tomb walls, praying for the health of the Ka, along with the physical offerings that would be given to that part of the spirit. The Ba, or personality, could travel back and forth from the world of mortals and the world of gods, while the Akh, or transformed, enlightened soul, was delighted by good rituals and was the immortal will of the person who dwelt with the gods. But both the Ka and Akh needed a preserved body and tomb to exist. There are also different beliefs regarding these parts of the soul, who had them and who did not, that evolved as Egypt and its mythology did as well. The pyramids were meant to help serve the resurrection process, just as Osiris himself was resurrected, aiding the soul of the pharaoh through the Duat, or underworld, and onto eternal life with the gods, as one new pharaoh took his place on the mortal world. Eventually, some pharaohs would be buried in the Valley of the Kings instead of in the pyramids, but ultimately this was much of the mindset in the mythology behind these pyramids, according to what we've discovered at all, particularly from the pyramid text carved within the tombs of the pyramids, the oldest known religious writings in the world. The pyramids, mostly, at least parts of them, were to serve as tombs, and they were meant to be engines of resurrection to help the process between life and death for their religious leaders. The capstone of the pyramid was also symbolic of the Benben, the first stone of the world to arise from chaos, and perhaps the alignment of stars was also itself a connection between the mighty god Osiris and his wife Isis, and the celestial divinity above them, connecting them to different constellations or stars. Now again, looking back at one of the overall themes in Egyptian mythology, there is order, or Ma'at, and there is chaos, and from that comes this eternal conflict, but also a cyclical nature. The pyramids would aid the pharaohs of Egypt in their divine journey and help reset the balance of the world, as a new pharaoh with Horus and Osiris's authority would come. Obviously, part of the mythology upheld a political goal as well, but that is again outside of the scope of our conversation about the mythology. And so, thousands of years later, the pyramids still stand, a symbol of Maat carrying on, and the world itself is so changed. Of all of the mythology that we will and have talked about, this, at least, is a symbol of this kind of mythology to carry on into the modern world. It is an interesting tie between the mythological world of ages long past and the current world today, still leaving us with many more questions than answers. And so, my friends, we come to the end of our tale on the pyramids of Egypt. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the pyramids and their mythological importance in the comments below. Hit that like button and share this with a friend to help the channel continue to grow. Please also subscribe to join the Masters of Mythology today. I hope you all are enjoying these mythological dives as we continue to explore different stories that have influenced all manner of fantasy and fiction in our world today. My friends, thank you all for joining me on this adventure. Until the next one.